So even though it's long, I think it's better for me not to chop the video up because I've already got 5 products waiting in the wings. So grab that beverage, let me play in the background while you're doing something else because I know it's going to be long. If you're like me and you watch a lot of beauty content on YouTube, you may wonder which products are the best of the best, which products stand out above all other products. You might want to know, what products do I use when I'm not filming? What products do I repurchase even though I'm reviewing tons of products in between? I may show you a product and it may get a great review because it's a great product, but that may not be the product that I use when I go on a trip, or the product that I use when I'm going to a special event, or the product that I rebuy again and again and again. We're going to talk about my top 24 products of 2024 and the ones that I just used and used and used more than anything else. So I'm Mona and I am a mature beauty content creator from South Louisiana. If this is your first time here, welcome. I hope you stay. If you're returning, I appreciate that so much. I hope that this video will be valuable. I like to do reviews on new products, but it's not because I'm ever trying to get you to spend your money that you don't have or that you don't need to spend on a new beauty product. I don't think you need every new product that comes along. I enjoy being on YouTube. I enjoy the comments. I enjoy getting to know you, sharing my love of makeup and beauty products. But it's more than just about the makeup here. It's about the conversation. It's about building relationships in this mature community and women supporting women. My channel is always going to be more about that than an individual product. And while I do post affiliate links, and if you do see something that you like that I review and you're looking for that product and you use my link, I always appreciate it because that helps me be able to afford new products to test. But I think consuming this kind of content, write it down. Keep a little notes section somewhere, like on your phone or on your computer, and when you see something reviewed that grabs your attention and you're thinking, wow, that looks really nice, but you're not in the market for it right then, write it down. Like the next mascara that you want to try, or the next eyebrow pencil that you want to try, or a hair product, so that when you are in the market or the product goes on sale, you can pick it up then. You don't have to feel pressured to go out and buy things just when we review them, like jump out and buy them. That's not why I do the reviews. It's for the next time you're going to make a purchase or need something, or you want to splurge on yourself, that you have an idea of what you might want to pick out of the overabundance of products that there are out there. Today's video is going to be a little long. You should get a beverage, but I think it gives you an idea of what I am using the very most. So not all of these things came out in 2024, but all of them were highly used by me in 2024. Also, you may see in the background some not so neatly made bed. That is because it is cold in this house. We are experiencing the cold just like you probably are, and we've only been in this house a couple of years, and we downsized and we empty nested, and this house is built above the ground over the water, and that was by design, but I never realized how hard it was going to be to heat this house being raised. The floors are always cold. I'm cold by nature. And then I have an open ceiling in the living room that goes all the way up to the second floor, which was pretty when we designed the house, but it does not make it sensible to heat and cool this house. And I bundle up and I have every blanket that I have pretty much on that bed right there. So we're going to get into the meat and the heart of the video, and I hope that you enjoy this. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this kind of video where we cover lots of different products, and it's not just new releases, but it's what I consider the best of the best. So if you've watched my channel before, you know that I have a fangirl crush on the brand Bob & Brad. And they put out a lot of things that help us feel better with aches and pains and things that we accumulate as we start to get older and wiser. But I do suffer from migraines, I suffer from dry eyes, and I suffer from tension headaches and tension. This is an eye mask, and you can say, well, I don't really need an eye mask, but this is called the Bob & Brad Eye Massager. So Bob & Brad are YouTube content creators themselves. They're also physical therapists, and I love their channel. I love their personality, their sense of humor. I love the real value that they bring to people who have chronic pain. So this eye massager can be adjusted to fit your head. It is not just any eye massager. This helps with dry eye. It helps with dark circles underneath your eyes. It increases your circulation to your eyes. It increases the circulation underneath your eyes, helping to disperse that blood and the pigments and make your under eyes brighter and get rid of those dark circles. But this is where the magic is. So you turn this on, see if you can hear it. So in case you couldn't hear it, it talks. It tells you Bob and Brad's eye massager is on. You have 4 buttons here. It's so easy to use. It's playing music. So you have white noise. I'm going to turn the music off. So I can make medium volume,
maximum volume,
high volume, white noise, no volume. You can also hook this up to your phone. So at night, I can put this on to relax and go to sleep, and I can have it hooked up by Bluetooth to my phone and have whatever music I want to listen to on here, either white noise to go to sleep or a podcast, sometimes a YouTube video, and I can listen to it while I'm sleeping. But it also heats and cools, and it massages. So I have heat on right now. I can feel the heat, and I can feel the massage. So if you've ever sat in one of those chair massages that needs your neck and your back and your lower back, this does that. And it does it to your temples and to your eyes, all around them. And it literally gets rid of your migraines, either with the heat or the cold. You can replace this with a cooling section that you can put in your freezer. I just keep that part in my freezer, and then if I have a migraine and I want cold instead of heat, I'll replace it with that. But the normal mode that it's going to give you is heat. So it's going to give you heat and massage, and it's going to help with a lot of different things. You can control the intensity of the massage, you can control the intensity of the heat, and you can control the intensity of the sound. It tells you goodbye when you turn it off. It recharges, and it is fantastic. They did give me a 5% off coupon, which I will have linked below for you as well. You can find Bob and Brad on Amazon. Now, let's talk about another lifestyle product that is something that I use every single night. I've done a video on this before, and that is my weighted blanket. Weighted blankets, you can get them from 10 to 15 to 20 pounds, or sometimes even more, and that weight has been proven by science to give you that snuggly feel and to help reduce anxiety. The one that I use and like the most is by Sleep and Glow. I'm going to put some pictures up. I'll pop those up, and I'll pop up a video, and I'll have a video in the description that I have done already showing you a little bit more about the blanket. But I gifted 3 of the weighted blankets this year, and everybody is loving them. Unlike regular weighted blankets that you would say get on Amazon, these can be washed and dry, and they're 400 thread count, and they're breathable, and they're just, it's like having a warm hug, and they are fantastic. The other lifestyle product that I want to tell you about, my son had asked for this on his Christmas list, and I ordered it for him, and when it came in and I saw it, I had to have one. So I can't say that I've used this throughout the whole year. That's the only exception of something I haven't used the whole year. This is a steam cleaner. This is by just a random brand, P-H-U-E-U-T. They have many of them on Amazon. I think you could choose which brand. It's the only one that I have tried, but I am impressed. I have no affiliation with them. I am going to link an Amazon link that you can get this one if you want, but you can look at the reviews and you can pick another one. What I want to tell you about this is that this is all over TikTok. That's how my son sent it to me, and that's how he found it. So you fill the reservoir with water, you heat it up until it's steam cleaning, right? There is like, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 attachments. This is the one that I was using last. The steam comes out and it cleans anything. So I like to use either this, or there's like a little brush, a hard brush, and I like to do this on my baseboards. I've cleaned all of my baseboards with this, but I'm going to tell you my favorite thing for using it for, and that is my refrigerator. So do you ever have anything sticky that drips? Like for Thanksgiving, we had some, or Christmas, we had a honey baked ham that dripped some of that honey baked ham syrup onto the glass shelf, and usually I have to take my whole refrigerator apart to clean it, right? Like you take all the pieces out, I'll like soak them in the bathtub and scrub everything down, or soak them in my sink. You don't have to take the stuff out. You put the steamer up to it and you take either the little scrub brush or like this attachment. The steam loosens up everything, any kind of sticky spill in your refrigerator, the sides of your refrigerator or your freezer, the compartments, it gets it all out, and you don't have to like take everything apart or take the shelves out. That is my favorite part of this device and why I think that it will be a staple. I'll probably be telling you about this again next year. Maybe you've seen these before. I'm new to them, and technology that really works always amazes me. But this makes life easier. Something that I've used all year and I have loved is something that probably just seems so simple, and that is these Clean Skin Club clean towels. So I have the extra large ones, and I cut them in half and I put them in another container. I just got this box in. I have them on auto ship. That's how much I like them. So I take the extra large and I cut them in half. And what I do is, after I cleanse my face, I keep them in a container so that they are clean and they can't get dust on them and they can't introduce any bacteria to my face. My face is always clean when I take one of these wipes out and I rinse it. And the reason I cut them in half is because I want to wet one side and rinse my face after I wash it, and it has gentle exfoliation. And then I take the other one, the other half, and I want to pat my skin dry after so that I don't have transepidermal water loss. That water that's going to evaporate because your skin is wet, which can compromise your skin barrier and it can cause your skin to be drier. So I like to cleanse, rinse, and then dry with these, and they're good for the environment. They are biodegradable, so they're not going to just pile up and stay. So it's climate friendly, even though it is not a reusable product. And I absolutely love them, as simple as that seems. And then I take that same wipe after the wet one and I wipe out my sink and I wipe off my counters in my bathroom. The Goat Cleanser by Dermatology. Now, I have tried lots of cleansers. I have tried I can't say almost every cleanser, that would not be right, but I've certainly tested my share because my skin is so sensitive that even if a cleanser says that it's safe and non-stripping for sensitive skin, it leaves my skin feeling stripped in most cases. It's really hard for me to find an affordable, sensitive skin friendly cleanser that's going to actually get off makeup, not leave too much residue, and leave my skin feeling hydrated and soft. That's what this does. A little bit goes a long way. It is very thick, so I don't have to repurchase this very often, but I have already repurchased it. So because it's a repurchase in this year and because I already have a backup, I'm really enjoying it. I also have a gel cleanser. Sephora just came out with a new gel cleanser. I tried that. I've tried Neutrogena's Hydro Boost cleansers. That strips my skin. Almost all things that say that they don't strip your skin do strip mine. This one does not. So that has been my most used cleanser this year. Now I do double cleanse and I do use a balm first. However, most of the cleansing balms that I have used all work. I'm to the point where I'm looking at cost per ounce. Something that's been a game changer and I have used all year is by Banish. Banish is a brand that I just discovered at the beginning of this year, and I have really been loving most of their products. I've been switching out some of my products one by one to try their products. I like to exfoliate. After we get to be our age, I do think exfoliation is necessary, but my skin is so sensitive that I have to be very careful with exfoliation. I cannot just go in with something harsh. So this smells just like real pumpkin. They make this fresh. They make it in small batches. It's a natural alpha hydroxy acid, and it exfoliates your skin so gently and so naturally. You have a real pumpkin puree in here. And so you just put that all over your face. It feels and smells divine. And then you leave it on for 10 minutes and you let it dry, and then you wash it off and your skin immediately feels smoother. And there's no tightness and there's no irritation. And I use this about 3 times a week. The other thing that I've been using all year is by Aspen K. This is their Glow Face Oil. This is, I think, my 3rd or might be my 4th bottle now. If you have super oily skin, you're not going to like this during the day. If you have combo oily skin, You might like this at night, but you might not like it during the daytime. I have super dry skin. There is not any oil left in my skin. I would be so happy if there was, but there is not. So I like oils. I had jumped on the castor oil train and tried some other oils, came up with this one. It's got turmeric, chamomile, rosehip. So turmeric is antioxidant, it's good for inflammation. Rosehip oil, chamomile is also soothing, but it's also got like jojoba oil and sea buckthorn oil, and I can put this on as the last step in my skincare before I put on my makeup, and it really gets rid of any dryness so that my makeup always looks good. That's a whole nother video, how to prime your face before makeup, or prep your face before makeup so that it looks its best. This does have a slight smell of turmeric, so if you are fragrance averse, you might not like this. I don't think it's a synthetic fragrance. I think that it is just the smell of turmeric, and it does dissipate shortly after I use it. But for me, I put this all over my hands, and I put it all over my fingers. I feel like it's making my hands look younger. This, and then sunscreen. It soaks in. I don't use hand cream. I've been using this. No crepiness, no wrinkled skin, smooth, not that expensive, easy to find. Aspen K has their own website, and they also have a store on Amazon. Their items are also made in small batches and fresh because this is a small brand. They don't know me from Adam, no affiliation, but I love their products. I've tried quite a few of them. This is just a staple in my beauty routine. I can put this on my face underneath my makeup. I do let it absorb for a few minutes first, and I don't put it on until after I do my red light therapy in the morning because oil would block that. But I like it all over my body. I like it on my arms. I like it on my hands. I like it on my face. I love it. I find that it is so hydrating and that it does help with redness and soothes and calms your skin while providing uber hydration. Another game changer this year has been the Laneige Cream Skin for me. I probably use this more than any other toner, hydrating toner. This has got peptides in it, so you got peptides and ceramides. Why would you use a toner? You might use a toner because you want to regulate your pH, or you might use a toner like this because you want to hydrate your skin. It doesn't interfere with anything. It's barely a layer because it soaks right into your skin, and you can pat it on 2 or 3 times. I tried Tatcha, the essence. I didn't find that was a game changer for my face. This one, the one by Ilia, I think these are game changers for your face, and especially in the winter, I would not be without one of these. I pat it all over, it soaks in, it doesn't interfere with any of my other products, it doesn't interfere with my makeup, and it really does give you a layer of hydration that you don't even feel anything sitting on your skin. It's not thick like a moisturizer, and it pairs so good with your moisturizer. I can't stress enough how much I like to add those into my skincare routine. It is the Dermatology HPR Eye Cream. You don't need a separate eye cream. You can bring your moisturizer up all the way underneath your eye. When do you need an eye cream? I think you need an eye cream when you want an active ingredient that's in the eye cream for a certain need. So I am constantly trying to stimulate collagen underneath my eyes because I'm losing it. I'm chasing it like crazy to try to get more collagen. This has hydroxypinocolone retinoate. It is a new form of retinoic acid, and it goes underneath my eyes. The regular strength tretinoin that I was using was too strong to go underneath my eyes, but I could put this on underneath there, and with some conversions, it would help that skin turnover, help generate collagen without being irritating or drying. So this to me is a stellar product. If you are not using a prescription under eye tretinoin and you are aging, then I do think that you should have an eye cream that has a retinol or a retinaldehyde. This is the newest member of the retinoate family, and it is, in my opinion, great for under your eyes. What I used to use was a Ven's retinaldehyde, which only requires a 1-step conversion, but I would find that although it probably was stimulating collagen and helping decrease the wrinkles underneath my eyes, it would be too drying. And so while I was getting that benefit, no matter how much I moisturized in the morning after using it, and no matter how much it was stimulating collagen, my eyes always looked terrible because my makeup, my concealer, any products that I put underneath my eyes would be accentuated because my under eyes were so dry, and I couldn't overcome the dryness of the Aven retinaldehyde with enough moisture to make my under eyes look better. So if it was going to make my under eyes look worse, then there was no use in using it. This one I think is a compromise. It is giving me some retinol and it doesn't make my under eyes dry. But going into 2025, I am going to be trying something else. So this is Eye Formula by Agency. This is prescription tretinoin, 0.002% with dexapanthenol and something I can't pronounce, epigallocatechin, gallate, 2% caffeine, and I am using this for underneath my eyes to see how it works. And it is an emollient formula, so far so good. It is hydrating and it doesn't feel drying and it's not irritating my under eyes. So, you know, it feels like it has slip to it. It feels a little bit greasy. So I think I'm going to see what this brings me, and I'll report back, you know, mid-year or a quarter of the year in, and let you know if I feel like that's making any difference compared to this for getting a prescription and for the price difference. I can't tell you right now because I haven't been using it long enough to know. I do feel like this is a great eye cream, and if you don't want the hassle of a prescription, then I would try this by Dermatology. If your under eyes are not sensitive at all, you may want to try the Aven. I'll have that linked below just in case. The Aven retinaldehyde. Retinaldehyde is proven by science to be effective. It only requires the one conversion to the pure form, the active form of retinoate, so retinoic acid. I don't have as much science on this hydroxypanacolone retinoate. It is a newer ingredient. So I'll have the Aven listed and this one, and you can decide. If you suffer from redness or sensitive skin like I do, this is my third tube maybe of this. This is Herborian Korean Skin Therapy CC Red Correct. It's got Ala Centella Asiatica in it. It is an automatic perfector, soothing effect, even complexion, broad spectrum SPF 25 sunscreen, redness corrector. So this is going to give you extra added sunscreen on top of your sunscreen. It's the only green color corrector that doesn't leave me with a green tint, but yet cancels out redness. It's creamy, it's moisturizing, and I can just apply it all over my face and it's going to cancel out the redness and give me some added sun protection. Tried and true, repeat purchase. I use it almost every single day. We don't want to forget sunscreen. I think any sunscreen that you use is fine. The one that I use the most is the broad spectrum SPF 45 by Dermatology. It is their clear version. This is a combination mineral and chemical sunscreen, and it just soaks right in. It has niacinamide, it has skincare ingredients, it's hydrating, there's no white cast, it doesn't feel like anything on your skin, and it has been the one that I have used the most. Now, as a backup, I have used the Universal Tinted Moisturizer SPF 46, which is a tinted formula, and a lot of times I'll wear that just on its own with no foundation. And this year they came out with a matte formula, which I like to wear if I'm going to wear a really glowy foundation. There's something for everyone with Dermatology's sunscreens. So I like to use a primer. I use a primer every day that I wear any kind of makeup. Some people wear face primers so that they can increase the longevity of their makeup. Some people use hydrating primers because they want to provide hydration underneath their foundation so that their skin is plump and their makeup doesn't look cakey or have dry spots or cling to dry spots. I use primer because I have uneven skin tone and texture, and I'm looking to provide a barrier between my skin and the foundation in order to make the foundation glide on and not settle into all my texture and fine lines, or to emphasize my texture. So I have used high-end, I have used drugstore, and everything in between. It is one of my most repurchased products. My holy grail that I had is no longer being made, and I cannot figure that out for the life of me, why they would have discontinued that product, because it was perfect in my opinion. But I've been on the hunt for something different, and I like the Hourglass Veil. but that's pricier. I like Tatcha Silk Canvas, but that's pricier. And I think that there are more affordable options. So probably the most repurchased one has been NYX, the Marshmallow Primer. And this, with this little pink cast, it feels a little bit fluffy going on. This seems to work just as good. Also, I'm going to link 2 others that I rotate with, and one is by Catrice. If Catrice is something that you can pick up easy, they have one that is very affordable, and Essence has one. So I'm going to list like my top 3 affordable primers. I don't know that any of the high-end primers provide any more blurring or any more protection against your products settling or emphasizing your texture than this, or the ones I'm going to list. I think it's just most important that you use a primer, or you consider using a primer underneath your eyes and on your face if you want to not have texture or pores or imperfections on your face accentuated by your foundation. I have several foundations that I love, and I keep meaning to do my top 5 or my top 10 foundations for mature skin, but today I'm going to show you the ones that I used the most last year. So I had told you guys in my last video or the video before that I had repurchased the number 7, but I had accidentally got the wrong one. What I was trying to repurchase was the Restore and Renew Multi-Action Serum Foundation with SPF 20. This is my most used serum foundation. It is by number 7. It comes in a glass bottle. It is my perfect undertone and my perfect shade, and it is the perfect coverage and the perfect consistency, and my most repurchased. And I try almost all of them. Now there are other skin tints that I think are beautiful by the drugstore. A lot of them have denatured alcohol in them and can be drying to my already dry skin. This gives me good ingredients. It gives me beautiful, beautiful finish. And finding a great shade match is important in how your foundation looks on your skin. So the fact that this one is my perfect shade match is a plus. And I will probably keep repurchasing this as long as they make it, because I like the finish that it gives. I like the way it looks on my skin. It does not emphasize any lines and wrinkles. It gives me a light, medium coverage, and it is perfect for every day. I have it on this side of my face right now. And for the price, it is beautiful. There are higher end foundations that are serums that I love also, but I'm gonna get the one that's the most affordable, that works the best that I can. The same thing I'm trying to do with the Balm foundation. I took a whole bunch of serum foundations and I tried to see which one checked off all the boxes or the most boxes for the most reasonable price point, and that was this one. And this one to me holds up to any of the higher end skin tints that I've tried so far. Okay, so a fuller coverage foundation. Again, there's been so many that I've liked. I have really loved the reformulation of the Chanel Le Tint Velvet. I am enjoying it. I do wear it. I love that velvet finish. I love that they took the talc out. I love so many things about it. I raved about that. I love the Huda new Blur foundation. I am enjoying that. I know Julia B's Beauty doesn't like it, but I really like that one as well. Outside of this year, probably my most repurchased higher end, fuller coverage foundation, like medium full foundation, has been Estee Lauder's Futurist Hydro Rescue Foundation, until Haus Labs came out with their Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. This is my second bottle of this, and this is the foundation that I've worn most in 2024. So I'm either wearing this if I'm on the everyday, or I'm wearing this if I want a little more coverage. This is the foundation that I wore to Chase's wedding in February, and I think that it was beautiful. So this is what I have on this side of my face, and that is by Haus Labs. Before we get into the rest of the makeup, let's take a little detour into hair. I have long, thick, very hard to manage hair. After I had my kids, it went from being stringy straight to being thick after going through menopause, it started to get some waves, and it really started having problems with frizz and thickness, to the point that a lot of times I get my hair thinned out. Like, you may see it sometimes looking thicker and sometimes looking thinner, because when I get haircuts, sometimes I'll have the hairdresser add more layers or thin it out, because especially in the summer when there is just so much humidity in New Orleans area, it is just really challenging to keep it smooth and to keep it looking nice and to keep it in place. And what I use the most is this K-Pack Color Therapy Luster Lock Multi-Perfector Daily Shine and Perfect Spray. And I use it every time I wash my hair. So when I get out of the tub or the shower, my hair is wet, I spray this liberally all over my hair, and it serves as a heat protectant, and it helps you with shine, and it helps keep your color good if you dye your hair. So that is a constant. The other thing that I use is Whey hair oil. Now, I have used a lot of hair oils. I've used Aveda, I've used Kerastase, if it's out there, I've probably used it. But my favorite is the one by Whey. Now, I'll put an honorable mention in the comments. I have to remember, I'm drawing a blank on what brand it is, but it's a more affordable oil, and I have about this much left of that. And it works pretty well too, for a lot cheaper than Whey. This one was in the St. Bart's fragrance, which I love the St. Bart's fragrance. Not everybody likes fragrance. They have a regular Whey hair oil that is not in the St. Bart's fragrance. It is the same oil, just without this fragrance. But I saw that it came in this and I picked it up. So you can see I don't have a lot missing out of this bottle. This is probably my second bottle this year, but I don't go through a whole bottle in the year. So probably that other bottle was from last year, and at some point this year I ran out, and then I repurchased it, and then this is what I have. So it only takes the smallest little bit, because I don't want my hair to look oily. Rub it between my hair, and I just run it through the ends especially, and then I use my Lange to style my hair. You can get the one by Revlon. I don't find that there's a whole lot of difference between this one and the Revlon one. I had the Revlon one last year and it broke. I use this every time I wash my hair. So after it's towel dried and it's almost air dried, I take this and I run it through, and I can turn the ends under with the heat, and I can also get some volume up at the top here by running it through here. It's got that oval kind of barrel, and I find that it gives my hair fullness, and it helps it be manageable, and I've been very happy with it. But I also would highly recommend the Revlon one, so I'll have both of those listed. I feel like if you don't have the dexterity to blow out your hair with a brush and a separate blow dryer, which requires some maneuverability and some dexterity, that this makes it easy. You could do it with one hand. I mean, well, you have the other hand. I have the other hand guiding my hair across the brush, but it's so much easier, and that is how I style my hair 90% of the time. Sometimes I'll use a curling wand and curl it, but most of the time this is just the easiest, fastest way to create manageable, healthy looking hair. At the beginning of the year, my favorite lipstick was by Lisa Eldridge, and it was Velvet Muse. I have gone through so many of these, several, more than 2, all the way down, and I love this color. This rose nude color just was so me. Look how pretty this is. So I also liked the way the velvet finish looked, like the Chanel Le Tint Velvet Foundation. I just like that velvet finish. But then Lisa came out with her Rouge Experience lipsticks, and I really liked these too, especially this shade was even a little bit more pinky nude, a little bit lighter, and I actually found myself gravitating to it more because I think I liked the more muted shade. I liked the fact that it wasn't as drying, it was very blurring and very flattering on the lips. Still, the most used one was Velvet Muse. I used that one all year. It is the most repurchased lipstick color that I have in recent years, and I'm always going to keep that one in my collection. But I do like the Rouge Experience lipstick. They don't last as long, but I like the way they feel on my lips so much better. But I have one that I like even better than that. I can't say that I used this the most during the year because it came out later in the year, but I can say that in the last couple of months, this is the one that I've been using every day. This is not inexpensive. This is by Valentino, and this is their Spike Valentino Buttery. I'm not reading the name because there's no way I can read that little tiny thing at the bottom of this. No way. It comes in these containers. This is recyclable. This pulls out, and you can change this out. You can order the refill, which is significantly less than the lipstick. But this is Couture in the Streets. They have other colors too. I'm going to show you this color. It's a little bit more rosy than the other two colors. But I like the way this one feels. You can see they're kind of all in that pinky nude, rose nude family. This Valentino one has a little more pink in it. The one by Lisa Eldridge, Rouge Experience, has a little bit more brown in it. But I think it's actually closer to the Velvet Muse, which was my original favorite. So you can see these two colors are very similar. And that is my color jam as far as lipsticks. But this one is so much more comfortable than the Velvet Muse. And you can see that the colors are so similar. So it blurs your lips, it hydrates them for 10 hours. I don't have to touch it up that much. It has some pretty good staying power, and it looks beautiful on the lips. This is the Dermatology Luminous Eye Corrector SPF 41. It comes in fair, light, medium, and deep, or tan. And I can use fair and I can use light. And it just depends on how dark my under eye circles are. Some people don't like this. My friend Cindy from Beyond 50 Skin feels like this is drying on her under eyes. So I always want to be fair with my reviews. Everybody does not have the same skin. Everything does not work for everybody. This has been not only used by me, but loved by me. Like, I love this product. She doesn't like it at all. So it is cruelty-free. It is got zinc oxide in it. The reason that I love it is that, to me, this will help conceal my dark under eyes, which are getting more and more prominent as the days go by. My tear troughs are getting deeper and the shadows are getting more obvious. So I can take this and I can go in without color correcting. I am never going to even dim the darkness underneath my eyes. So color correcting has become a necessity for me. So I go in and I tap a little bit under each eye with this, but I also put it on top of my eyes as a lid primer to conceal veining and to get rid of any discoloration on my lid and act as a primer for my eyeshadow. So if I want to brighten, I'm going to go with fair. If I want to keep the color pretty much my skin color, I'm going to go with the light. This is chock full of skincare ingredients. It's moisturizing to me. It's got peptides in it. It's got a little bit of caffeine. It's going to moisturize your under eyes. It is going to conceal those dark hollows. It's going to brighten up those spots right here where you get older, you start to get shadows. And I don't find that it settles into my fine lines or wrinkles underneath my eyes at all. I find that it is so flattering, hydrating. So I am getting sun protection added underneath my eyes. I am getting color correcting, and although it is not a concealer, I do feel like it conceals some. And on no makeup days, I will just use this. And it can take the place of a daytime eye cream because it, to me, is moisturizing and has those plumping peptides. This has been a repeat purchase for me, and I use it when I wear makeup and even on days when I don't. When I don't wear makeup, I find it blends in good enough that it doesn't look obvious that I don't have makeup on, like there's no big color difference. And so this is just not only a great product, but it is just one of those stellar products for me. Concealers. The concealer that I'm using now is not the concealer that I have used most of the year. So because this is my most used products video, I wanted to say that the most used products prior to coming into the last couple of months was the Bye Bye Dark Spots Concealer by IT Cosmetics. I like that this can conceal underneath my eyes. I have it in a color that is the same color as my skin, so that I can also use it to conceal broken capillaries and blemishes and anything else that I want to conceal. I think this is a great serum concealer that has a good bit of coverage, and I really like it. The other one that I like is by Tarte. I like the creamy Maracuja creamy concealer. I also have their original one and liked it. I find that these are both hydrating. I find this one is a little bit more flattering now. When the original one first came out, it was my holy grail under eye concealer for so long. But sometimes what worked for us last year or the year before may no longer work for us. As we get older, our skin continues to change and evolve, and sometimes the products that we use has to change right along with it. So I do find that the creamy creaseless concealer works really good, and I think it's a fine concealer. So this year I have loved the Sarah Creel, but I'm not going to recommend that as what I am switching to, only because of the price. I just think that it is very expensive for what it does. Do I love it? I do, but it's expensive. This is not inexpensive, but I think that right now, if I had to say which concealer provided the most coverage, which has become more important to me because my under eye circles are getting much more severe. So this Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer, right now, at this moment, my eyes could change, technology could change, products could change, but this is what I feel like is giving me the most flattering high coverage on the market, and that it is what is concealing my dark under eye circles the very best at the current time. But that has been a recent find. It is not what I've used the most this year. What I've used the most this year is a combination of the IT and the Tarte. What I've worn the most when I'm not filming, when I am just going to the grocery store, when I am just doing Zoom calls, what am I wearing on my eyes? Usually a single shadow. And what has been my single shadow favorites has been by Lisa Eldridge. It's been her Silk Shadows and also her Liquid Lurex for a little bit of sparkle. And in particular, these three colors. The formula I find does not crease. I find that it dries down a little bit better than my former favorite, which would have been by Charlotte Tilbury, the Eyes to Mesmerize. And I still like those moussey one and done shadows, but I find these are easier to control and easier to get a pretty look and more beginner friendly. This shade right here is Thalia, and it is just a light peach shade, and it just opens up and brightens your eyes. I find you should put the most pigment on your lid itself, your mobile lid, and then you should blend it up with a fluffy brush so that the color gets lighter and lighter as it gets closer to your brow bone. And I think a color like this peachy one, Thalia, can really make your eyes pop and can brighten your eyes without being hard or difficult to put on. Now, the other favorite that I have is this rose, you know, the same color I like in my lipstick, I like in this eyeshadow. I have to put the name of this, I can't see it, and I'm forgetting off the top of my head. But this is a beautiful color. And you might say that's too dark, or you wouldn't like it, but again, you put this on your mobile lid, and then you start to blend, and you blend up. And it blends out. And it is really beautiful. These are so easy to control. Like the eye lights by RMS, I love those, but I found those were really tricky to control. Even the Charlotte Tilbury was a little bit more challenging to get that perfect shape that you want on your eye and not to just go too wild on your eye. These are not like that. These are so easy to control and get it to just be on your lid where you want it. I don't find they crease. I find they stay all day, and ease of use is definitely there. So I like those two colors in particular, although you may have a different taste. And then for the Liquid Lurex, I'm going to list this color too, because out of all the colors, this is my favorite shade. This is kind of a cool color, I would say, and just is so pretty in the center of your eye as a little pop of shimmer, or all over your eye as a one and done, because it's not glittery. And I don't find that it emphasizes wrinkles. I think that it's real flattering on mature skin. You can build this up or you could sheer it out, and I think that it is a beautiful shimmer. So sometimes it is nice to see an older palette, because guess what the good news is about older palettes? You can find them on sale more than you can find a newer palette on sale. And so this Scott Bourne's palette, Snatchel, you remember when he did like the J Glow glow look, and he was all over everything. He did this Natural #1 palette. I still love this palette. It has neutrals, warms, cools, and I find myself pulling for it all the time. It also has this color Muted, which is not as light as I wish they had in this palette for the inner corner, but it is one of those blending colors that I like, in a cream or a beige that you can just use to blend out or to lighten up or to go under the brow or in the inner corner. And I really like the shimmer lace. I find myself pulling for that one a lot. From my other collections, I find myself pulling for the Natasha Denona Glam palette a lot. And from what's new, I have used this bronze palette by Natasha Denona that came out this year, the reformulated one, a whole lot. It has that Milko cream to powder finish in that white shade, that creamy shade that I like for blending out other colors and for lightening up my inner corner. That's that perfect color. And even though it says bronze, it has some really clear-cut neutrals in this palette. It's not totally warm. Now you do have a couple of the golds, which I'm not a gold lover, but in general I really love that palette, and if I combine these two I can have the perfect palette. Of the holiday releases, I think that the one that I pulled for the most, surprisingly, was the Icy Nude palette. The only thing is I do find I get some fallout with the glitters. The other one is the Urban Decay Moon Dust formula. So if you're going to ask me for my most used shimmer, it's going to be these singles by Urban Decay. I will use an all matte palette, and they have one by Danessa Myricks, which I love, and they have one by Patrick Ta, which I love, and then I will just take one of the Moon Dust shimmers and put it right over the center of the lid. So I still think that the Moon Dust formula is probably among my favorite shimmer formula out there. We know that Patrick Ta released his duos, and I have been enjoying those. I'm not going to include them in this top 24 of 2024 because they came out towards the end of the year, and I can't say that they're my most used duos. But I do usually have Talk to My Team in my purse, and if I want to sparkle up a shimmer, I usually pull from one of those two shades. I have to say that my most used lip gloss this year was the Velvet Muse lip gloss by Lisa Eldridge. I'm on my third one of these just this year, but I don't find that they have a lot of product in here. I find you go through them really fast. This one's already dry, you know, done at the bottom of the barrel basically. It's not my favorite formula of lip gloss altogether, but it matches the shade that was my favorite lip shade, so when I would pick that up, I would pick one of these up. Mascaras. Throughout most of the year, what I used on the everyday was the Compel or High Water Mascara, Tubing Mascara by Cali Ray. I like the way this makes my lashes look. I think it gives them enough volume and it gives them enough length. I like that it's easy to come off. Occasionally I would have some smearing at the top of my eyes. I'd mostly only have that if I over moisturized my eyes or didn't powder my eyes down after moisturizing, because sometimes I will go out without eyeshadow, but I always pop on a little mascara. So maybe I moisturize my eyes and then I put on my mascara without powdering my eyes down, and I would get a little transfer. But I really like the way this looks on my eyes, and with a little care I could avoid that. Then when Charlotte Tilbury's Exaggerize came out, I started using that and repeat purchased that. So I went through a couple of those tubes and really liked it. Again, upon application, I would have smudging, and once it dried down, I would take a little spoolie, I'd wipe that off, and I wouldn't have any more smudging for the rest of the day. So I didn't mind because it lasted the rest of the day. No transfer to my lower eyes, no transfer back up there once it dried down. And I loved the way it made my lashes look. But I have ditched that one in favor of the new Haus Labs Be Exposed mascara. That is what I have on my eyes today, and I am loving this mascara. It is not messy. It is dry enough that it is not transferring even on application. It does not smudge. It does not budge. I find that it holds curl. It gives me volume. It gives me length, and it's easy to come off when I want it to. So to me, right now, a number one spot is this one, even though this was not my number one used for last year because it is new. everybody's perfume taste is different. But oh my gosh. So this is Carmina by Creed. This is not inexpensive. It is so yummy. When I have this on, I cannot stop smelling it. It has a scent of rose in the background. I'm not a lover of rose. I wouldn't suggest a blind buy of this. I would definitely go and smell it on you. It has a sweetness. Normally I don't like a perfume that's too sweet. This just, the way all the notes tie together, the longevity is there. I can take a shower and still smell it a little bit after washing with soap, but yet the projection is not so far out that it's filling up the room and annoying other people, but you do have some projection around your person. It has, you know, kind of like the smell of black cherries. It has pink pepper. It has a musk. It is yummy. That is the way I would describe this. Yummy and delicious, and I can't stop just wanting to smell it when it's on me. Like, I love it. Now, my most used fragrance of this year was Libra Intense, and that had notes of lavender, and it had notes of, that one was more of a, had a little bit of spice to it. I loved the lavender. I loved that the heart was orange blossom, which I love orange blossom in my fragrances. And whenever my husband wasn't home, that was what I was wearing, and I would get so many compliments of it. I went through 2 bottles this year, the smaller bottles, but 2 of them. But when my husband's home and I would wear it, it would give him a headache, and he thought it was too spicy and too oriental. So, you know, if you don't smell good for your man, then why would you wear the perfume? So I won't be repurchasing that because it's not his favorite, but I loved it. But I would say that this one is my favorite right now. Like, I'm obsessed with it, and I never use the word obsessed, but this fragrance, I just can't stop just soaking in the yumminess. The hints of rose are there, but subtle, so it's not like old lady rose hits you in the face. It's just yummy. I have really enjoyed and wore a lot, but did not start wearing until fall and winter, is the new one by Dolce & Gabbana, Devotion, which is another warm floral, which has a heart of orange blossom, and it has opening notes, the intense version of hazelnut with a dry down of vanilla. So it is a little gourmandy, a little warm floral. To me, not really spicy, but not sweet either. So just a great fall winter fragrance. Before we wrap up, skincare devices and brushes. So the skincare devices that I used the most this year was by JOVS. So I had the 4D laser light mask. I'm gonna pop that up. I have a video that I did explaining that in depth. I feel like light therapy, red light therapy in particular, is changing my face. Blue light therapy was an important factor this year in helping me heal some adult acne, as well as the Banish Fighter Gel. But for the most part, I'm looking at red and near infrared light therapy. So the JOVS mask, face and neck and décolleté masks were the ones that were most used by me this year, but I am testing some other masks right now. I have the Series 2 by Current Body, and also I have Mesama's. So I will be providing some updates on those during the year. I did try Farad Beauty's lightweight mask. It has like the holes in it. I'm going to do a separate review on that because I think that's one of those affordable alternatives if you want to dive into red light therapy but you don't want to pay the full price. So we'll talk about that in another video. But the other 2 devices that were my favorites this year were the radio frequency device by Current Body. I have a full video review on that. I feel like that really helped change the lines above my lip and also the lines underneath my eyes, not the darkness, but the lines. And then this, which is here, right here. My LED mask is by my bed because I use that when I wake up in the morning. And then I use this. So this is the Current Body Slimax. This is the device that can be used for your scalp, for your body, and for your face. And this is the device out of all the devices that I ever used that I feel gives me the most instantaneous, obvious results. When I put this muscle stimulating device on my cheekbones, I instantly get a more lifted, contoured look. And I have a video where you can see that happen on camera. This plumps up, creates a line of definition. It looks like I had filler on my cheeks, and I've never seen a device work like right before your eyes like this one does. It is powerful. This has red light therapy in it. It also has green light, which is going to soothe inflammation. I feel like that has helped with my redness on my face, and I'm working with it on my jawline to build the muscle underneath, because just like when we work out, we want to build those muscles. I think that that's an important part of our skincare as well. This can help with hair growth and massage, increasing circulation of blood to your scalp as well. And what I'm finding that is doing is just providing a little bit of lifting to my face in the morning. It is temporary. You have to keep using it, but you do see that. So by lifting and tightening the skin on your scalp, you're pulling up like the skin and pulling up your eyebrows and the skin on your eyes. So definitely worth the investment to me. And then if you have like muscle aches and pains, you can actually use the body mode there to relieve tension. And you can use it to like tighten up your abdomen, saggy skin on your arms, and that kind of thing. Going along with my red light therapy, I used the heck out of these. And this is Masama's Green Rooibos Pressed Serum. And then they came out with the Green Rooibos Serum Light. These are antioxidants. These are going to protect your skin from free radicals, pollutants, smog, dirt, grime from outside that can get in and destroy your collagen. This is going to help prevent against that, and it's also going to make your red light therapy even more effective. And so I don't use my red light therapy mask without these, so this has been a very used product in 2024. Most used brow pencil, we're almost done, was by Gucci. So I know this is a little bit expensive. Again, you can see how little bit I have left of this. That is because, one, this is a powder formula, which I actually am really enjoying. And the other thing is that it is the right brow color for me. You have to have the right brow color. If it's too dark, it's not going to look good. If it's too light, it's not going to look like you filled in all of the sparse areas. My brows are a really big pain point. I like a powder. I like this powder. And no, you don't need to spend this much for an eyebrow pencil, but if I had to say which one I use the most, I had bought it, I tried it, I loved it, I bought it again. I find that I go through eyebrow pencils really fast because the two things that I am going out with, or three, sunscreen, a lip gloss, mascara, and an eyebrow pencil, whether I'm wearing anything else or not, because my eyebrows have such big gaping holes in sections that I have no hair, and then I have no tail left, and then I have a section in the middle that just grows like crazy. So brow help for me is necessary every single day. So I don't go through this as fast. It is more expensive, but it lasts me so much longer that when you balance out the cost, it is not more expensive. And the other thing is I can see what I have left. So my other one would be this Ultra Slim Brow Pencil by Maybelline. This is much more affordable, but I have to have backups all the time with me on hand because I can't tell when I'm about to be out. And I need my eyebrow pencil because if I don't have eyebrow pencil, like I said, my eyebrows are seriously jacked up. But if I'm rolling this up and all of a sudden I get to a point and I'm like, there's none left and I'm out, I'm gonna have to take makeup like eyeshadow and brown and try to fill in those sparse areas because I can't go out with my eyebrows looking like that. So you can't see when these are out. I typically end up rolling them up and then I'm like, oh, it's empty. So before I know it, they're gone. I don't feel like they have a lot of product. I feel like this is like year number 2 and I'm finally almost out of it. But this is using it almost every day. So yeah, it costs a little bit on purchase, but I can tell how much more I have to go before I have to buy another one. I like the way it applies, I like the shades, and I like the way it works. My most used brushes this year, sponge. I've replaced all my sponges with the Pawpaw sponge. I do still love the Stands Out Beauty sponge, but it's $20. And these I can get a pack of for really, really cheap. These Papa AOA Shop Miss A sponges, and you can now get these on Amazon in a big pack, and they work just as good. Rephr came out with 2 synthetic brushes. One is the BO4 brush for applying foundation. I've been using this. Normally I am a sponge girl only, but I have been using this and enjoying it. I'm also loving, even more than Angie Hot and Flashy's under eye concealer brush, which I had loved, is this Rephr BO5. It is a little bit smaller, a little bit narrower, and it fits underneath my eyes just so perfectly for concealer that I love that. Of course, Angie Hot and Flashy brushes are great. Nikki Little Rose brushes are great. BK Beauty brushes are great. My favorites of the BK Beauty, I find myself loving this little 108 brush for blush or for highlighter or for just blending out contour. I just like it. I like the shape. I like the softness of it. It's just one of the brushes that I use a lot. The other most used this was not from the Angie Hot and Flashy line. The BK Beauty brush is 203. This is just the perfect little brush for everyday use. I can use this to blend. I can use this to pack on the lid. If I only needed one brush, like I only had one brush, I could do everything with this one brush. I'd prefer to have more and one softer, bigger, fluffier blending brush. But if I just had one brush, I could get everything I needed to do done with this one brush by BK Beauty, which is their 203 brush. Rephr is the other brand that I absolutely love their brushes. You can go to the concept store, you can get everything half price, and they just ask for you to give them your honest feedback so they can adjust their brushes and make them more perfect. I love the shadow brushes that they came out with for blending. They're soft, and I had my favorites out right here. Let's see. For them, the #1 brush. Again, if I could have one brush by them, it would be the #1 brush. If I needed a brush to do everything from Rephr, it would be the 101 brush. Could do everything. This one is a little better at blending than the BK Beauty one. This one's bigger, but you can pack it on. You can do an outer V with this. You can blend with this. Like when I'm traveling, you know, taking these 2 brushes with me can really get a lot done. The other one is the shader brush, which is the Rephr 02 brush. I have probably more of these than these. The 1 and the 2 and the 15 is probably the ones I have the most of Rephr. Most affordable brush brand. If you want nice brushes, but you don't want to break the bank and you want to be able to just go to the drugstore and pick them up, I like the Real Techniques brushes. Real Technique brushes are affordable and they're nice. I think that they're easy to get. You can go pick them up at your local drugstore if you need brushes. They don't have as many shapes as I'd like, but they have a couple of shapes that are absolutely phenomenal. I just wish they'd add some more brushes to the line and a couple of more. I wish they'd call me and let me tell them how to design just a few more brushes for their collection. But the brushes that they do have, I do think that they're good. I think that their blending brush is a little bit too loose. That would be my only complaint about that. I don't think it's dense enough. Some of their other brushes are fantastic. There are 2 brushes that they have. One is like on an angle, and I like it from my outer corner just as much as any high-end brush. So I would definitely recommend the Real Techniques brushes as well. I'm going to end there. I think overall these were my most loved and most used products of the year. If you stuck around, drop me a heart emoji in the comments so I know that you're still here. I appreciate that so much. And if you got benefit from a video like this, I'm only going to do these super long videos like once a year, but I think we'll do a year-end wrap-up and we'll look at what products did I use most in the year above everything else. And I think I'll do a quarterly one like this going forward. So probably at the end of first quarter this year, I will talk about the new products that I've used the most in the first quarter, mid-year, and end of year maybe. I hope you guys are doing great. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for being here, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye. Everyone